guys, I thought I'd maybe film this repair of my air reel. The hose you see there, the blue one, is water. This is in the main part of my shop. The air reel has been leaking and I had to shut it off. So I repaired it some years ago and pulled the reel out and going to attempt to repair again on it. This hose reel is a Stewart Warner Alamite, and it came out of a Dodge dealership. It was probably built, the dealership was probably built in 1945, somewhere around there. And I ended up with the hose reels when they tore the dealership down somewhere in the 80s, I guess. So they're quite old, and here's the hose reel on the workbench. This is the air fitting that's leaking. You can see where it's been blowing. I got a hold of Alamite, and when I told him it was a Stewart Warner Alamite, he said that's too old and doesn't matter what part numbers you have. We don't have anything for that unit. So I'm going to take it apart. This is the back side of the unit. I started taking it apart. I'll bring you back after I get some of the initial surgery done. You don't have to watch me undoing bolts and screws. But I got to salvage this reel. All right, be back with you. Just dawned on me, if you can see here, I don't know how good the light is, but there's a brass nut that goes into the fitting here. This part swivels, and this is where the issue is. And I've taken this apart before, but damn if I couldn't get that broke apart while the reel was still up in the air. That's why it's down here on the deck, and we're gonna go for see if we can break that loose, which I don't think so. Then we'll start surgery instead. Well, here's a little update. As you can see, I've taken it somewhat apart. This fitting right here slides through and comes out the other side here. And let's see if the camera will focus, but you can see that putting a wrench on those, there's two flats there to put a wrench on, and there's just not enough surface area for the wrench to bite on, so I was actually starting to damage the threads there. That's why I ended up taking it apart. And my goal is to get that brass fitting out of that piece right there. And it's in there. I've had the cheater pipes on it, and I'm an old man. I just don't have the gumption anymore, I guess. So thinking of chucking this puppy up in the 3-jaw chuck on the lathe and locking the head and seeing if that'll give me a good bite. So that's the next try. All I can do is damage it, I guess. Be back with you. Well, I got the fitting out. It took the old torch wrench to do it, as you can see, but I got it hot enough so that it broke free. And you can see there's a cross pin in it that holds the fitting in. So the O-ring's smoked for sure, but looks like it has a chance to get fixed. So continue on taking it apart. Ended up putting it in the vise between a couple of V-blocks to secure it. I had tried it in both in the lathe and the mill, and I couldn't get it to move without putting a good amount of heat on it. Okay, we'll be back, and hopefully this part's going to be salvageable. So here's a look at the inside of that bore. So I'm going to see if I can clean that up. Little Dremel tool with a wire brush on it. We'll give it a shot. Well, the Dremel cleaned it up nice. I'm going to see if I can do anything with cleaning the threads up a little bit, just from the rust and corrosion. But I got a buddy that thinks the Dremel tools are just a joke, but I bought a couple of them, really inexpensive, the extension shaft, and they've come in handy. It's like typical tools when you need them and they work, they're the best thing you got. Anyway, back with just another little update. So here's all the parts at this point: the roll pin, the washer, and this guy sits in there, and so the O-ring is on the inside of this. And just so you know, somebody didn't change channels on you. This isn't Blue Hand Video. If you haven't been to Blue Hand's video or Blue Hand's channel, go visit Mike. He's does some really neat stuff. Does a lot of brake kits and a lot of machining. Anyway, so pretty sure that's where the O-ring rides, of course. And my memory is that this top piece, you can see there's like a seam there. I think they come apart, but I'm not going to try to fight it too much. I think I'm just going to try to go inside there with the Dremel and clean it up so that the O-ring will sit back in there. Started to think about this, and the fool, which is me, that worked on this X years back, of course didn't put any anti-seize, never seize on this. Would have been a lot easier to take apart. Of course, I never thought that I would be doing this again, but I think I will put some never seize on it this time. Okay, and if anybody was wondering what this white stuff's on my vice jaws, that's what I used. I used that just to put the aluminum jaws in there real quick. Some double stick tape. Okay, just too lazy to clean it off at the moment. Be back to you shortly. Well, I got it cleaned. It's cleaned up. The O-ring is basically right here within the body of this fitting here, and of course that's where it spins. But now I can see why the O-ring gave up its life. You can just see the corrosion there from the moisture in the air, and that's where the O-ring actually rides. So I got to see if I can locate another swivel that I can change out. I don't think this is worth repairing, or I got to come up with a little miracle method to fix it. And that could be a possibility too. So we'll do a little checking. It's actually Christmas Day today, and out here playing in the shop, and so there's no chase in it today. Although I can go on McMaster Car, see what I can find there. All right, hope everybody's having a happy holiday. Be back to you shortly. Just a real quick on the Dremel tool. I picked up this kit. It was a garage sale. Ended up with all the different accessories and stuff, and there's more accessories up here in the lid. Both 2 variable speed Dremel tools, and the flex extension that you can actually hang the Dremel tool up in the air on that and use the flex wand. I think I got the whole thing for 20 bucks. Heck of a buy, and the tool's been really useful for me. Been happy with it. Okay, thought I'd just throw that in. And it stores away real nice. Well, here's the parts, or the part that's failed, and hopefully this will stay in focus. But you can see all the corrosion that's occurred on this from just the moisture in the air wheel. And this is the where the O-ring sits in here. This piece captures the O-ring inside there, and of course then it comes through, and then the roll pin locks the assembly together so it can spin. So the question that posed to myself was, how do I repair this? Can I go buy a replacement part, which I can't. So my first thought was try to go a la Keith Fenner and clean this up and braze it and then return it on the lathe, so I just have a new shaft and not have to deal with it. I talked to Tom Lipton over at Ox Tool about it. His comment was, well, why not just build a whole new part? And of course, he's a machinist and he thinks like a machinist. And said, duh, that's an idea. So that's a possible fix. I told him that I had my heart set on brazing this, and he said, cool. He goes, I like watching fail videos. It's one of my fetishes, so go for it. You always can build it. So I may still do it, make his day. It also looks like it's, I don't know if this is showing up or not, but it looks like this part is silver soldered. The nipple's silver soldered in. So it may be just a situation of heating it up, pulling this nipple out, make a new nipple, and silver solder it back in. So I'm going to explore that also. Just because I'm a hack, excuse me, as I hack, I went into my fittings drawer, found a steel fitting, turned it down, and basically produced the same item there. This distance, once it's pulled in, really won't matter because it's within the cover of the hose reel, and then basically made the same length nipple so that it would do the same thing and slide on and produce the same thing and just shorten that. So that's another fix. I may do it as a quickie so I can just get my hose reel back up and then go take it back apart. I don't know. So to further on this discussion, my machinist buddy Chewy, that is my mentor, I showed it to him the other day, and he had another way. He said, turn it down and make a sleeve. Press the sleeve on, and then turn it to be the right diameter. Another method of fix. So I thought I'd throw these out. This will be a two-part video, and I'm going to call it quits here. And anybody else has suggestions, it'll be interesting. So you can see this fitting here is radiused, and then it's also has chamfers, or yeah, I guess you call those chamfers, or radiuses down off of the face too. And it's the way I guess they designed this is that in one dimension you can get a wrench on the nut, on the fitting nut here, and then when it's this direction, you really can't, because I remember when I was taking it apart, one way you could get a wrench on it, one way you couldn't. And as you can see, the brass nut has been boogered up some, and of course it's been in my vise. Okay, so be back to you. If you guys got suggestions, I'm open to hear it in the comments. Be interesting, and I'll be back to you. Just one final item before I close this. Since I'm learning CAD, I decided to go ahead and draw this part, the original part, in CAD if I was going to reproduce it. Careful, I'm told, to invert your eyes. It may hurt your eyes. Somebody knows what I'm talking about. But anyway, so I drew a front view with the center and the bore, right and left views, and then a bottom view. So it really did it, one, just for fun to, again, try to progress on my understanding and use of CAD. Cool part about it is, of course, I could pick up this radius point and teach me, I wouldn't be able to know what that radius is, but by using the CAD and setting up circles, I could figure out the radiuses and stuff like that, and some of the dimensions. So anyway, I thought I'd just throw that in. Having fun learning CAD and making it a useful tool. I posted the video this morning, and geez, I want to thank everybody for a lot of comments back, ideas, and I kept bitching that to make the original part's going to take time, and well, hell, it's New Year's weekend. I got a lot of time, so I'm going after it. So I've mounted the part underneath here, and I did a little layout on the end of a stainless steel rod that I had here. I put a little center mark on it, and then I've laid out the center of the actual nipple there. So I end up machining that back to create the nipple. I decided to when I was doing the layout on this, I decided to, I'm going to pull the camera out here. I decided to use my 5C chuck in a 5C square block, and then just put it in my vise, and that way I could just turn it over and use the my brain, use that tool right there, whatever it's called, to go ahead and measure and lay out the lines. So it's basically ready. Think I'm going to go ahead and mill the flats on it first. Probably going to leave it in this setup and actually mill the flats back where they would be, back here. Go ahead and mill that, and then I can cut it off and then put it in the 4-jaw to finish it. So that means I'm just going to have to support this on the bed of the mill table as I go ahead and rotate the part in the vise. Okay, so that's where it's going today, so I'm going for it. And like I said, I got lots of time, and shouldn't be an issue on getting this item built. I don't know if that helps at all or not. All right, be back to you with an update. Well, I've got the parts set up in the mill. This was my idea of how to set it up. So I'll be basically cutting the flats back here and get this side down to it, and then basically just 180 degrees on the square block, cut the other side, and then flip it over in 90 degrees and knock off those two sides. So I'll end up with the flats, make it a little bit larger than the part there that I need, and then I can cut it off and then go ahead and chuck it up in the lathe. So I ended up building a set of stack blocks, spacer blocks for the height, for the support, and put a stop here on the back side so that the block will go back into the same spot each time. Alright, so I'll bring you back a little later again. Just a quick update. So I got the first flat machined. Now break it down and turn it 180 degrees and cut the opposite side. There's a total cut of about 152 thousandths. Well, here's the block. It's roughed out, and the key is the wrench fits one direction, but it won't fit the other. Whoops, not in frame there. Won't fit that way, but it'll fit that way, and that's just like the part itself. The wrench will fit one way, but it doesn't fit the other. So anyway, ready to move on and start roughing out and getting the nipple portion built. Be back to you soon. This actually, this roughing out portion went faster than I had anticipated. Making 30 thousandths passes seemed to work out really well with a 1/2 inch 3-flute end mill. Here's just a shot of the part. Got it cleaned up, so it's ready to be mounted in the 4-jaw chuck, and then it'll be shooting for the upper set mark. There is our center for the nipple, and start turning it. So be back with you. Well, I thought of a trick for maybe getting this part set up in the 4-jaw. I took the original part and put it on a gauge pin, and then of course put it in the chuck, and then brought the 4-jaw chucks up, just touching it, so it'll at least get me in close proximity where I'm supposed to be. So I thought I'd just show this and see if I outsmarted myself or I smarted myself. Be back to you. Well, got it in the chuck and starting to turn it. The quick center that I used the old part, worked well, and we're making chips. Be back to you shortly. Well, this pass will get it out of the interrupted cut, and now we're cutting concentric on it. So keep on cutting here. We got a lot of whittling to get down to that 436 outside dimension. Well, just in progress here. I'm starting to get down there, and I decided to go ahead and drill the center hole. It's 1.5 inches deep. It's a size N drill, and I'll just end up using the caliper here on my tailstock and go ahead and punch that in 1.5 inches. Okay, be back to you soon. A little more in progress. As you can see, I got the center hole punched and still turning down. Got a couple, about 400 thousandths still to go, and that nipple will be completed. So just turn it away. Just go with 40 thousandths cuts per pass. Part's getting pretty hot. May have to stop for a while and let it cool off. But it's going well and having fun. Be back with you shortly here. Well, the nipple's complete. Fits perfect. While I was finishing the turning, as I got down, I was using this product, Cool Tool, instead of the sulfur-based oil. And what a remarkable difference you could see in the cutting, in the heat dissipation. So I thought I'd share that with you. It's not cheap, but boy, it certainly is a good product. Okay, so be able to take it out of the lathe here and move on. A little bit of a rush here. Almost forgot to chamfer the front edge of the part before I took it out, so I just completed that, so now it's ready to pull. Interesting enough, I picked this fitting up off my bench, and you notice the other part's missing. Well, as I picked it up, it was loosely sitting there, and I heard a tick, and it hit my lathe someplace. So a hunting I will go, a hunting I will go. I hope I can find it. Anybody see it? I think I'm going to be looking for quite a while. Alright, catch you guys later. Well, here's the two parts side by side. And so all I have left to do now is put the pipe thread in on that face and then drill the hole over here for the roll pin. And then decide if I want to go ahead and chamfer these down to match this. I may do it, see what kind of mood I'm in. My lucky day, it only took me about 3 minutes and I did find it. It was actually in one of the holes in the mat. I've recently dropped a brass-headed set screw the other day and also a little spring for a drill chuck. And those both got eaten up in this mess down here. But today was my lucky day. I managed to find that, so I'm going to try not to lose it. So, be back at it tomorrow. It's 8 o'clock on New Year's Eve. Been out here playing, and time to go in the house and relax. Hope everybody has a safe and happy New Year's Eve, and be talking to you in 2014. Well, here's another quick update. I've got the hole for the air fitting already drilled out, and got the tap wrench set in here with a tap follower, and gonna tap for the pipe fitting. Okay, be back with you soon. Well, just a quick shot here. You can see the two parts there, and I'm working on cutting the radius on the back of this, on the back of the part. So got the first side done, and it's coming in or not, but turn it over and do the other side, and then I'll be finished with it. Oh, I still got to drill the hole for the roll pin. Another little quick update. Just finished the fitting side. See if that comes in or not. And it's ready to be pulled out of the forejaw. Didn't have much to hang on to there, but wasn't taking a very big cut to boot. So be back with you shortly. Just got to get the roll pin drilled in it, and I think I'm done. A little cleanup detail. Well, guys, here's the finished product. Got it all completed, and maybe just a little more finish work to get rid of some of the mill marks. I don't think it really matters, but turned out nice. Had a lot of fun building it, and there's the original part. The right here you can see where find something to point with. Right here where the chamfer didn't come across, and that was just because the piece of stock that I used in the beginning was just shy of making the full dimension. My other choice, of course, was to use a piece of stainless that I had. It was like 2.5 inches, and I'm not going to do all that turning. But anyway, it's done, and all I got to do is find me an O-ring and put it all back together. Well, I've got the fitting put back together. Here's the swivel, and I thought I would do an air test on it first before I went and put the whole reel back together. So, and what I found out, as you'll see here, is it's leaking. But the good news is it's not leaking from the actual air fitting. It's leaking between this brass fitting and the body itself. So I took it apart and cleaned it up a couple of times, and it's not repaired. So I think I'm going to have to build a washer for in here to get this part to seal. So what I've been looking at doing here is I've got a copper washer that's the correct OD that'll work, but the ID is incorrect. So I think we'll be using one of these rescue kind of collets, and I'll show that. We'll turn this ID to the correct measurement, and then put it back together and see if that solves my leak issue. Okay, be back with you. Thought I'd do a little follow-up on this. It's called an emergency collet, or a machinable collet, or a stepped collet. You can see that it's got a machinable piece up here where you can create either your deeper recess or larger diameter recess. This one just happens to fit, and this one has got a removable top, so it comes off of the body. I do have some other ones that are larger, and luck of the draw, this one was close and I was going to have to machine it, but this one I think is going to work, so I'll chuck it up and we'll move on. But you can see how far this one's been machined back in. Okay, well I took the part over to the mill vise, just straightened it, got a little bit of a wow in it, but it's back normal. So I'm just going back in and cleaning up on it. Get a new measurement on it. Another 21 thousandths to go. Probably the way I should have attacked the part, boring it rather than trying to turn it, hence why it caught. Cleanup. Okay. Pop it out, do a little cleanup on it, and see if, put it back in the part and see if this solves my leak. Be back with you. Just a quick shot to show you the fit is good. I don't know if it's maybe too thick for compression, but I'm going to try it at this thickness and put it back together, and we'll see what happens. Be back with you. Okay, here's a follow-up. Air's on, and got it sealed up. Turn the fitting, and the fitting's holding, and my copper washer sealed the two together. All right, put the hose reel back together now. Well, the air reel is back and reinstalled, but when I put the air to it, it blew a hose. Not bad for what? Let's see, I'm 60 and the dealership was there before me. So maybe about a 70-year-old hose. Finally gave up the ghost. So have to get a new hose built for it. But otherwise, the reel's back in place and ready to be used again. Anyway, that's the close of this episode of the air reel repair.